station. And presently we've got a construction contract through the FCC to where we can raise the power on it and maybe change a channel on it. The channel, if they give us the channel we're asking for, we're going to change the channel, and then we can go a 50-mile radius. And that's what we're doing. So what I had decided to do, because they're doing so many changes in the free over-the-air television, because streaming and other things have basically cut into our market on it. I tried selling local ads, and I felt like I was, imposing on people because they were wanting to spend money that they didn't really think they were going to get. So I just backed off on it. I said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get the technology to catch up. So the technology is here now. We have an FCC chairman right now he's concentrating on low power television stations because he says that is the local way that information can be presented to the people of the city, and it doesn't cost them anything. And so the technology is also, they're allowing us to get on to 5G, so we can broadcast 5G, which means that we can broadcast directly to your cell phone. So the problem with the television industry is everybody don't sit in their house all day long and watch television. Right. They're out working, they're doing the thing, but they got a cell phone in their pocket. So what we're going to do is we're going to start broadcasting our stuff to cell phones, and that's going to happen next year. So what I decided to do, since I have 7 channels, and the FCC is going to require me to broadcast at least 1 channel. So what I thought I would do is say, okay, I'd offer to the city that channel, and that channel would be only for the purposes of using it to city, that you can use it for revenue. And I have some friends of mine that was in the restaurant business. They had to sell their delivery van to pay their A&P taxes, and actually went out of business. And I said, they don't feel like they're getting the back. So I said, okay, A&P can then offer free advertising to the people that are paying the taxes in for the board. And so I gave Tyler a little proposal that would make it very affordable for you guys to actually have your own television channel. And I met this week with some very prominent business people in town who want to do a housing remodeling show. And it's going to be much like the show that, I don't know if you saw the show Hometown. It was out of Laurel, Mississippi. We're using that model. So what we do is we take dilapidated homes, and we take those homes and we refurbish them. But we do it with federal money, because they've got then the one big beautiful bill. They have the Affordable Housing Act, and the Affordable Housing Act has grants in there. So if most of the cost of it is in the grants, then it makes it very profitable for us to sell a house at a very low price to the first homeowners. Now, there's some beautiful old homes over there on Hickory Street. I bought one of them, and I said, and so it just needs some tender loving care and remodeling, and it's a beautiful home. The flooring and all that stuff is just fabulous. So what I would like to do with A&P is to consider what the information that I gave Tyler, and say, let's work together. I'm offering you a television channel. Let's work together. And there's also in that agreement is that you can get sponsors, so that it isn't really going to cost you anything. Because I'm sure there's sponsors in there that would help sponsor it. And I would work with Anna over at the Main Street, and we could work with your PR department to all the information of what's going on downtown. I've had people say, "Hey, what's going on downtown?" I said, "I've had wrestling events down here, and nobody knew it was going on because we couldn't get the word out." So That's what I'm offering to the A&P. And in this document that I gave you, it says that we could work with the EDC too, Economic Development, in the fact that we could take some of these old buildings downtown and refurbish those. Because one of the things that the new president is wanting to do is he's wanting to refurbish some old buildings for homeless veterans. So that's one of the things that we have on our agenda. But I have a mortgage company, I have a contractors, and I have myself, and it takes a nonprofit. And we got a nonprofit that we were going to work with, that if you guys okayed that and ready to go with it, we could start first of the year, ready to go.
Well, we definitely look at the information, and because it sounds like, it's something worth looking into. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah. Hey, you talked about grants for the big, beautiful bill. Grants have usually a match to them, right? When you apply for a grant, do you know what the match is on those grants for those, to refurbish those houses?
Well, what they did is, I think they copied off of that infrastructure bill that was by the previous administration, and where that they grant, so whatever the building cost is, they will give us 50% of that. So whenever we go into the grant, they say, okay, see, we have a mortgage company that we give them said, this is the house as it is now. It might appraise for $50,000 with dilapidated state, but when we refurbish it, when we redo the inside, replumb it, get it up to city code, and get the roof and everything replaced on it, then it will be this value. So it's say $200,000, $175,000. That is the appraised value of it. So the mortgage company then puts that on. Said, okay, if you can get somebody to qualify for a $175,000 loan, you got your contract. So then the bank starts the money flow, purchase the house, and go on down the road. And when it finishes, we close it, and everybody gets their money, and we go down the road.
Understand, but to get that grant to refurbish the money, where the match, where's that come from?
That comes from the federal government.
The 50%?
Yeah.
They're only going to give you 50% of the money, is that right?
Yeah.
To refurbish, say that the house is cost $100,000 to refurbish. They're only going to give you $50,000, right?
That's the number I picked out, but whatever the value of the house is when we finish it.
No, well, I understand. So the bank is going to loan you the $100,000.
I have a real estate bank that said, okay, that I've worked with for years, and they said, whatever the appraised value, if the people that qualify.
Okay, no, not the appraised value. The cost to refurbish the house is $100,000.
Okay.
To refurbish that house, $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The feds, they're going to loan you $50,000 to refurbish that house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you going to get the other $50,000?
From my mortgage bank.
The
They
bank's
advance,
gonna loan-
it's called first draw.
The bank's going to loan you that whole $100,000 to refurbish
Yes,
that house.
they loan the whole,
To refurbish that house.
and at closing time is whenever we all settle up.
So the A&P wouldn't be out any money to refurbish that house.
Oh, no, it's not going to cost you guys anything.
Pardon me?
It's not going to cost you anything other than the fact that A&P's not, you guys are not going to have to pay out anything.
What do you need us for?
Huh?
What do you need us for?
What I want to do is, I need you guys because you have the city at your disposal. And the one thing that a television station needs is viewers. Nobody even knows who we are. I've been over there 5 years producing 7 channels, 24/7, and I've just been really quiet about it. Nobody get the word out. So what I'm doing next year, in the first quarter of next year, is I'm developing an app. I'm having to write a lot of software out of my own pocket to do this, and we're going to have an app, and that app is going to be able. I want you guys to use you to promote people picking up that app, because that app's going to have a whole lot of features on it.
Question about the app. With the app, are you still confined to a 50-mile radius?
Oh, no, I'm
Anywhere
5G then.
anywhere your phone travels?
Wherever I go. Actually, whenever it's more like we're gonna be putting with that 5G, we're gonna be able to put a Wi-Fi in a 50-mile radius. It'll be we can broadcast to cell phones in a 50-mile radius.
And this is something that you've talked to Tyler about?
I just briefed him
Just-
on it.
If it's.
Yeah, he came in last week or.
Yeah, last week.
And gave me this proposal. I haven't had time to
Yeah.
read through it. I haven't dug into it at all.
This is something that, does it sound like it's,
I honestly, just shooting you straight, I couldn't tell you a single thing about it. We discussed it for a very few short minutes.
Yeah.
And he gave me the proposal, and we've been working on budget. We each got
Yeah.
budget approved last night, so there's not been a single second to even read through it yet.
well, it's got possibilities, right?
Sure, yeah, anything's got possibility.
Right, but of course, we would need some time to look over this before we make
Oh,
a final
this
decision.
is,
Yeah,
Tyler was
just-
nice enough to
yeah.
invite me to this meeting because he said, look, this is a special meeting.
Right.
So,
This-
and so I wanted to throw it out here to you guys because I know I'm not looking for a decision
Right.
right now. I've got plenty of time. I won't be 5G until probably the first quarter of next
All
year.
right. And what was your name again?
Wesley
Is
Crenshaw,
that-
let me give you my card.
You got, yeah. Thank you.
Ask to approach.
Yes. You already have permission to come up.
Yeah, I've got permission to approach.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is something we'll take a look at, and it's not an action item for us today.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it's not an action.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
I'll answer some more questions for you.
Are
But,
they-
you guys are basically, you just sponsor the channel, and that's all. That's all that we're asking for you.
Okay.
The rest of it, we handle it with our own funds.
Sounds good. All right, sponsor channel. Thanks, Mr. Crenshaw. Really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you guys for
All right.
allowing me to speak.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next item, we have FAB contract.
Hello, all.
Hello.
I'm Danny Hamblett with For All Brand Kind, and this is Tracy, and we've got Nicole here too.
Afternoon, ladies.
We threw together some slides that are basically just kind of a review of the last email we sent you guys. So we sent out an email. It's kind of an end-of-the-year recap. We can look through some of this just in case anybody else didn't see it, or if there's anybody in the public that wants to see it, so we can kind of click through. Or before we start this, do you guys have anything specific that you're curious about, or?
Just to let everyone understand that, the terms of the agreement that was extended from June 1st, 2024, to the end of this year, what have you, and this is going to be an action item to, if we want to go ahead and extend the contract. And so they have a PowerPoint here to kind of go over a lot of the content they've been sharing with us on a weekly basis and bi-weekly basis, or what have you.
Extend the contract for how long?
My proposal is that, that we extend the contract, for no more than 2 years without a rate increase. But that's just my proposal. Of course, we have to,
Would it be up to us how long we extend the
Yes.
contract?
yes, we've been doing, try one. We did a year.
So we
And then
started
we-
with you guys in June of '24.
Yeah.
So June of '25 was 1 year, and then we extended the contract to
Yeah.
the end of this year. Now we're trying to get on a fiscal year and not a
Yeah.
rolling year.
Right.
So the contract does say that y'all have the option to extend twice without a rate change.
Hmm.
So yes, you could at this time commit to 2 more years, or you could commit to 1 more year, and everything would be the same.
And so that's the decision we'll have to make. I guess we'll watch this PowerPoint.
Yeah. So like I said, this is just kind of a walkthrough of some of the things that we sent in our last update email, which was just kind of a look back at the year. As you guys all know, we launched a new website in July. That gave us kind of a clean start on analytics and things like that that we can look at. I'm not going to read through every single thing here, but we've been running ads on Meta and Google Display and video ads. We've been geofencing people with the videography that we had done last year. From our perspective, this kind of consistent storytelling across all different applications has been a positive just for brand awareness, kind of getting this new name out there and making sure that everything looks the same. We updated the visitor's guide, you guys have seen that, and then we just happened upon one of the visitor centers taking that to their regional meeting so that every place in the state of Arkansas got those new visitor guides, so that was great. Here's just some numbers on things that are out there and how many impressions we've had on different channels. Tracy, do you have anything specific to speak to on that?
We've had 3.9 million plus total impressions, and that's just anytime somebody sees the ads for even just a couple of seconds. A lot of the people are getting to the website through search and through the advertising, and yeah.
Do.
We feel like there have been a couple of good events that have not, it hasn't been our effort entirely that's made them do well, but Pickle Fest did really well. The Tracy Lawrence concert did really well, and we are trying to engage with the people in the community that are throwing events and make sure that we're aligned and that we're helping them boost their events. Beyond digital things, so y'all's billboard is still up on State Line, and the billboard rep is trying to negotiate with us right now to possibly continue that next year, and we let her know that we were up tonight to talk to you guys about renewing this contract, so if y'all don't renew our contract, you could still run the billboard, and I can get that information to you, to whomever wants it. The partner guide, do you want to talk about the partner guide?
So what we've been working on is some partner kind of support materials, because we want to make sure that the people paying the tax feel like they're getting some kind of a value out of it. So we want them to know, what are you getting? Where can you see this stuff?
Right.
How can you get your, business in there if you're a tax-paying business? How can you let us know what's going on? And so we created this partner guide, and I think we sent it out with the last email for you guys to review and see what you think about it. But basically, it helps them sign up for our email newsletter that we would start for the partners if you guys want to move forward with that, and how to use our resources.
And we know that part of looking at the materials from y'all's city board meeting last night, we know that part of the 4-year plan for the city is more efficient processes and systems. And so we feel like this kind of dovetails in that. We want a more efficient system when there is a new business that's going to be a tax-paying entity, so that they feel like they're involved in the process and they're happy with the advertising that they're getting. And then the Arkansas Meeting Planner, we just ran another ad in that. That's out all year long, and that is a resource for people in the state of Arkansas who are looking to book meetings or conferences. So Texarkana is represented in that with the convention center and all the space that we have there that we can accommodate meetings. So sort of a forward plan for 2026. Now that we've sort of established this kind of baseline and this exposure across multiple channels, we're looking to increase overnight stays here, continue to support the tax-paying businesses, and just really focus on experiences. And that was part of the change to Experience Texarkana, was what experiences can we put in front of people and help them understand, here's what you would actually do here. So we sent out some specifics for next year in that email, and I printed them out for you guys. I didn't want to bog you down with something to look at while we were talking, but I will hand these out before we leave. But a couple of the things that we're going to do in the future are a newsletter, better little guides on like a thing my family could do today, a thing brunch with the girls, kind of little experiential guides.
The things people are searching for already.
Right. I think in Frisco, with my family, we went to Frisco, my daughters clicked on something like that in Frisco, Texas.
Cool.
And we stayed going like all day.
Do you want to speak to this, Trey?
Sure. So for the website, and the little graphic is just to show you guys, the website is kind of our hub. So we are thinking about what can we do that's a top 10 list, or events that are coming up or whatever on the website, that then we can drive the social media to, the search ads, the digital ads, the print ads, the newsletters, like everything can go back to there. So we think that creating really good content on that website that we can push out to all those channels is a priority for us. And so that's really just more blog content of, like she said, curated experiences and itineraries, just the things people are searching for, focusing on the kind of things that people have come to town for. You've got, what's the Run the Line Marathon, right? So
Yeah.
a hub for people who run, who are coming here, who are coming to that marathon. We want to get them into the restaurants and, stuff like that too while they're here. So content like that is what we're really planning to push out on the website. And then more of a good hub for people who are planning events. We have basic information on there now, but there's a lot of stuff that they need to know and a lot of contacts and links and stuff that you might want access to when you're planning an event. And so developing that and working with the people who have event venues and things like that to make sure that we have the right information there is something else that's important. Same for sports tournaments.
Okay.
We talked about sports tournaments specifically at the last meeting and kind of how we could package to people who are in town, hey, if you go to this restaurant, you get a discount, go to this restaurant, you get a discount, and things like that. And this partner program that we're trying to start where we would have better contact with these tax-paying entities, these restaurants and hotels, would allow us to gather that information from them and kind of start a conversation. There may even be a newsletter component there, kind of an internal thing where we're sending it out to the business owners and saying, hey, X sporting event is happening or X conference is coming into town. Like, what do you guys have to offer? Send it to us so we can talk about it. Something else you said I was going to speak to. Oh, as far as event planning, just kind of an FYI, we do get emails to the website that are very detailed, like I'm coming in town, my family's having a reunion, where can we get a party bus? Then we want to go to a restaurant that has seats for this many people. Then where can we all stay? And where can we have the party? You know, and so event planners, there is an opportunity for them to help those people out.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Like, for example, I'm thinking about doing like a 5K for my ward, like twice a year, like 5K with your ward director. What information would I need to bring you for that?
So if you have a
For the
flyer
event?
for it, if
Flyer?
you have the date, the location, how to sign up for it, just basically all the information that somebody would need to sign up.
Like, for example, I got alleyways that need to be cut, like, just thinking of different ways I can raise some monies, to maybe clean up some of these alleyways, do a couple of 5Ks that run with their ward director or something like that. But, yeah, I like that.
And some of that is city stuff, like
Yeah.
permitting for a race
Yeah.
and things like that, you know, wouldn't be things that we would handle. But
Just
yeah,
thought
for
I'd
sure, the
bring it up.
promotion, any kind of graphical information people get us about that or links. We shared the link, you know, the Tracy Lawrence concert had its own
Okay.
website outside of ours, but we shared that link as often as we could. Pickle Fest did not have a website, and I think I told you guys this at the last meeting, but we wrote a blog about it on our website as a place to give information, and we got a ton of hits to that because they didn't have a website. So, kind
And it's
of,
still generating hits because people are that excited about pickles.
yeah.
I
Well,
think they
and
had-
she's doing it next year, so,
I think they had 15,000 or 1,500.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I spoke
I'm
with
not
them at the
sure.
parade the other night, last night.
Well, we recruited the pickle lady to work on the air show because she was good at running vendors, so. So here's a little more information on the partner program. We won't read through this whole thing, but do you guys have any questions about that? A clear process, that third bullet there, for submitting photos and menus and hours and promotions. So it's kind of a struggle, as I'm sure you can imagine, just to figure out what's new and then are they open? Because things open and close, especially in the restaurant world. So we're kind of constantly, quarterly, we're calling these places to see what's changed. But we'd like to make that, instead of us pulling that information, them pushing it to us.
Or even just developing that relationship, because some think that we're just like calling from Google to get, you know, how people call you and ask for information at businesses. They don't, you know,
Yeah.
we need to develop that relationship.
So, yeah, we feel like we've built a strong foundation. We look forward to opportunities in 2026 to continue to build on it. And like I said, I printed out just some of the action items for 2026 that we've come up with. I'll pass them out to you guys. We also, depending on how this goes, we may go to the governor's conference again. It's in February.
Good deal. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you.
I was contacted by Texarakana magazine through Cassie Meisenheimer. And she was asking me about if this was a contract, and of course, I knew it was a contract, but I didn't know anything about it. And she asked me, does it go out for bid? I mean, I guess that's what we're talking about right now, if we're gonna renew this contract or not, correct?
Right.
And if, I didn't know, what is the
Well,
process?
let me give you the history. Tyler, you want to give them the history? Well, the history of it is that we had one advertising agency, and it went into the bid process, and they won the next they won the next bid. And so they've been on the contract up until this point. Now we're at the point that, do we extend the bid, extend the contract, or do we end the contract? And so, that process happened, 2024. Yes, that's when we was missing, we had a missing link for the advertising agency. So now we're at the point where we are either gonna renew the contract or cancel the contract.
If you renew the contract, y'all decide on the length y'all would like to
Yeah.
renew it for. The current contract, you can extend for 2 years, right?
Yes.
At the same rates that are in there now. If you decided not to renew that contract, we would then put out a request for proposals. You accept all those proposals. The process that we went through last time, correct me if I'm wrong, but you get so many proposals, y'all sit down, I believe y'all allowed each of them maybe
Right.
to give you a presentation, and then y'all created a short list maybe from there?
Yeah, that's how it happened.
Of, I think, 3 different firms, and then y'all selected based on that. But really, y'all can decide on the process yourself. We would just have to publicly advertise for proposals. Beyond that, however the process goes will be up to y'all. Is that correct?
So our,
So go ahead.
our only option is to extend for 2 years?
No, we could do 1 year, which I think, well, I'll let you finish.
Well, yeah, I'd much prefer with the city being in such financial straps, especially for next year, I prefer 1 year extension myself. If we're looking at this, instead of 2.
Yeah, I would agree. I prefer the 1 year only for the fact that I know, I've had some people approach me as well wanting to get into this bidding process. They won the bid fair and square. To me, they've done a good job. I think that if we weren't to get them back in for another year, then we are going to be left with a process that's going to take a minute, and then we're going to have events that aren't going to be pushed out because we're not going to have anybody over that. So that's what I would say for a year.
I
and
don't
then-
disagree with that.
That's okay, you can disagree.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't disagree
I'm
with
used to people.
trying to start over. We're gonna be pushed out 120 days. if we
Right.
try to start.
Right, I mean, that's just a lot of headache, and for them, for us, and we're not gonna have, I just don't want to be uncovered.
So if we extend it for a year, could we say in 9 months or however long we think that process is gonna last, that then we would put it out for bid and then
We would be back at the table
we'd be back at the table, y'all would be back at the table with anybody else who wanted to throw their hat in the ring? And how long is that process? Would 90 days be enough, 120 days?
Well, on page 5, section 6 of the contract, under rights of termination, this agreement may be canceled by 60 days prior written notice given by the agency to the client or by the client to the agency. So you've got 2 months for either party to cancel.
Well, yeah,
I mean, unless both parties are, hey, let's go.
Well, I would say that would be if something happened, terminated.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem extending it, but I think if we're gonna look at 2026 voting for 2027, we ought to give the other parties that wanna, whoever they are, I don't know, there may be 1, there may be 10, I don't know. Give them an opportunity to come in and
Yeah, that
then,
would,
not now.
that wouldn't be hard to construct. I mean,
So you're asking if you could put bids out while the contract is still, everybody's still under the contract?
Wouldn't we have to? If we were gonna put it to bid to renew January of 2027, wouldn't it be smarter to put that, to start talking about it in August of 2026?
I mean, there's no, we're kind of putting the cart before the horse,
Yes.
but understanding your question,
we're gonna be in the same boat in 12 months.
Sure, sure. I don't think you can put bids out in August. I think you can put bids out, after giving notice to cancel the contract in,
October, that we were gonna give them 6.
November 1st, or whatever 60
Then that
days
would
is
give-
prior to January.
So basically, what you're saying is, would be November of 2026, we would tell them, we're gonna give you notice, however, we still want you to come back and bid against the other entities, if there are any other entities.
Yeah, unless otherwise agreed to, in
Okay.
writing between the parties.
Okay.
But we also have the option to extend their contract come this time next year, or November next year, right?
Yes,
If
you
we-
may be
if we
so
still like-
excited
Yes.
that you may just want to extend.
Yes.
Yeah, we could extend, if we
Right.
like their performance, we could extend another year.
Right.
And don't go and just forget about everybody
Just like
else.
this year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, if it satisfies, we don't have to entertain,
Yeah, if we like their performance next year, okay, give it
Of
another year.
course, of course.
All
I
right,
just want to tell somebody that asked me about it. I brought it up, and if we're going to vote them in for another year,
Yeah.
the time to bring this up is going to be next, whatever the date is.
Sure, I mean, that,
Because I agree with Meredith, I don't want there to be a 90-day lag where we have nothing.
I think it was longer than that last time.
Just for clarity and information, I am curious, does the city have any kind of a rule? Is there, like, every 5 years we have to go up for a bid for new agencies, or 3, is there anything like that in place? No. Does anybody know how long y'all were with the previous agency?
Sales
Bob,
agents.
Long time. I wasn't on the board at that point. while Barrett
3 or 4
was.
years? It was,
They've done at least 4, I know.
I think 3 or 4 years. I came on in 19, and I think they was already,
They were here in 18.
Okay, just curious.
maybe it's something we have to clarify in our bylaws or something.
I'll,
Yeah.
my brother was the attorney at that time. I could ask him if he
Okay.
has
Yeah.
anything from him.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right. All right, if there's no other questions or concerns, is there a motion on the floor?
I make a motion that we extend for Auburn Grind 1 more year.
Second,
All right, it's been motion and second. Are there any discussion? If there's no discussion, roll call, please.
Mills,
Fred, here? Yes?
Jewel,
now what are we bidding on?
Motion.
1 year.
Extending.
1 year extension. Yeah, 1 year extension.
Yes, yes.
oh, yes,
1 year,
okay.
1 year.
Okay.
Holmes,
yes.
Dodson,
Yes.
Brewer.
All right. Yes. Motion carries. Fab contract will be extended 1 more year.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, thank you. All right, next we have on the agenda, Big Dam Water Park presentation by Mr. Blevins.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to see you again.
Yes,
Oh, excuse me.
we have a presentation of this. Thank you so much for having this meeting and allowing me to come in real quick. I know it's a Wednesday night. We'll get in and get out as quick as we can. Give you a quick recap of where we are at Big Dam Water Park and what's going on and what we think the future is, and see if you guys would love to be a part of that. Kind of show you a few pictures of what it has looked like over the last couple of years as we refinished, reopened, and rebranded. And I'll go into that a little bit more, but I want, since I don't know all of you guys on the board, I haven't spoken to all of you, I'll give you a quick recap of who we are. P23 Consulting stands for Philippians 2:3, which is do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others more important than yourselves. That's what P23 is, and that's how we run our businesses and what we do. I own and operate several water parks. I have the Splash Kingdom Water Parks in East Texas, and then we own and operate water parks for cities, municipalities, private owners, things like that around the country. And about 2 years ago, the water park that you guys had worked with previously was foreclosed on and taken over, and I was asked by a bank to take that and see if we can do something positive with it in the community. And working with you guys, we've been able to begin that. What do? We operate and manage water parks. We do that a little bit differently than anybody else because we do that as an owner and an operator also, because we're doing the same thing that we're helping our consultant clients and things like that on as well. We also do a lot of our marketing and revenue research. I'm on the board of tourism for the state of Texas. Next year I'll be the chair of that board, and the revenue that is created through tourism and travel is significant to any city. And so doing that and making sure that we maintain those tourism and travel activities in cities are very significant, and we want to make sure and do that here as well. We also help other parks as well as this one with their maintenance and asset management to make sure things stay at a high level and look good for years and years, something that was not happening out here prior for sure. And then we consult and develop with other parks. We have several under construction and under development in other areas, North Texas. We have one in Puerto Rico, things like that we work with and design and develop. What do we do in a community? The reason my wife and I started Splash Kingdom a little over 20 years ago was to make a difference in the community, not to have multiple water parks at all. It was to teach students how to work and how to have a safe work environment. And for me, it's teaching someone to look them in the eye when they talk, where their pants need to go, how their hat is worn, and how they can be successful when they leave us to do something else. And that's something that we want to do wherever we are. The economic impact for what a water park or the fair or any amusement industry is significant in any community, because a lot of times it's a seven-time turnover of dollars. So when someone spends money at a movie theater or the fair or the water park, you'll see that dollar in your community about 7 times, because the people that are buying there work there. They're going to buy gas locally. They're going to buy movie tickets. They're going to do things over and over, and that's going to continue to stay in our local economy. And why partnering with the city is important is so the community sees that it's important and that we continue to grow that together. Also, that our messaging can be very similar as we grow that. Okay, so how are we doing with what we've taken over? In 2024 was our first year to operate that. 23, they sold about 1,000 season passes total to the park that was there prior to this. In 24, based off of our marketing and our change and our renewed fresh look at the water park, we sold 5,411 season passes. And then in 25, after people saw that what we said we would do, we actually would do, we almost sold 10,000 season passes in 2025. As an example, though, in Canton, a town that's much, much smaller at Splash Kingdom, we sell about 18,000 season passes. So there's a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of things that we need to do to continue to get that to where it needs to be. But the community is responding right now in a positive direction to where they are buying and they're coming. 80% growth to that. Our marketing piece, I have an in-house marketing company. We've got everything from website design to social media, things like that. And so to give you an example, we have 68,000 visitors hitting our website, and those top cities, Texarkana is in there, of course, but Dallas, Shreveport, Little Rock, and Houston are who is looking at Texarkana for this big damn water park in the website. The website views, 7.2 thousand unique visitors, Texarkana, Dallas, Shreveport, Lafayette, and Bossier. And then our social media, we just heard that Texarkana's website or social combined was 3.9 million. Our social was 5 million just for the water park. Interactions, links, visits, and follows. And just in Q4, we've had almost a little over 500,000 on our social media. Where did those posts come from and what are they interested in? Toddler Tuesday, what we do with our moms and our little ones for Tuesday morning, opening before normal operating hours for those little ones, 5 and under, come in. 63,000 impressions just on Toddler Tuesday. So people around here and in the driving area are looking for something for the little bitty ones. We focus on that 5 and under so they can have that time where there's not the 10 and 12-year-old little brother running over our little ones. And so we do that, and that's really, it's interesting, that's our number 1 kind of organic post impression. Phone Phone Frenzy, which is a Friday Night Live event that we do. I'll talk about that a little bit more. That's right under there. And then we had what we call Timu Taylor, Taylor Swift kind of artist came in, and they had a big impact in the market as well. Community branding and impacting, theming contents and recaps. We're having a lot of followers and then non-followers hitting our website over and over and over, really strengthened by the family first and approachable things that we're doing at the water park. You can see that 1.3 of our followers, impressions were from followers, but 3.6 million of those impressions were from non-followers, which are probably people that are outside of our market, and I'll show you where they're from. Facebook impressions, we're seeing a lot of growth over there, and we can see that Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas are hitting total together about 30% of where the impressions are coming from. But Wake Village, Atlanta, Ashdown, we are really reaching those outside areas, and that's where, you know, for my impact, when we're talking about tourism and things like that, we want outside money to come in and spend money into Texarkana, Arkansas. And so the more that we can outreach and get people to bring their money into Arkansas and spend it here is what we're looking for. So it's exciting to see that 70% of those are coming from outside of Texarkana. Our attendance, you can see the high days, the highest count, we had a little over 1,600 people in the park in one day, but there's a lot of days under that 500. And you can see that this summer was one of the wettest. If you're not a farmer or you're not a water park guy, you probably didn't notice how much it rained, but it rained so much this year. It was crazy. So we have several days that are under that number. So what that, you know, our attendance was not great this year, but the desire to come out there was very great, as you can see by the 10,000 season passes almost, but the attendance stays very based on the weather for sure. Here's a heat map of where our reach is, where we're getting tickets purchased from. This is not website visits or social media, but this is where people are purchasing tickets. You can see the heat there at the Texarkana right in the middle, but as it goes out, there's pockets where we're really reaching some other folks. The green are where tickets are coming from. The purple is where there's multiple tickets coming from those areas. So we're bringing those guys into Texarkana. Some of the enhanced experiences that we did, Friday Night Lives, we stayed open until 9 o'clock on Friday nights. We'd have some kind of a local concert. We'd have foam party. The Foam Frenzy was a big one, again, for those families that just want to have, you know, a big foam party, have some DJ music and that kind of thing. We had a good time. Had almost 1,300 people at that. We had a luau night on a Friday night where we had limbo, we had luau, we had a lot of different things that would go along with that. Again, very family-oriented experience. About 1,000 people on that. This was a low attended because of the weather, but they still almost hit 1,000 people, but we didn't even think it was going to make because there was thunder and lightning all around us. But when we had the Taylor Swift tribute artists come out there that night. Some of the reviews from folks in the area and that are on our social media and our website, things like that. We also work very closely because we have larger relationships all around. We're able to get some national, international companies that we work with to be involved with us at the park, and so that's very exciting. Okay, what's our ask and what are we thinking we're wanting to do? So when we were asked by the bank to help make sure that this thing didn't just fold and what should they do and things like that, there was a previous arrangement with the previous owner that was a 20-year thing. You guys were about 10 years into that. So not knowing that you didn't have to continue that, I was asked to come in and visit about that, and so we extended, did not know that that would be a annual or however that worked, and so as we got the letter this year that you guys are reprogramming and thinking about what you want to do, just want to let you guys know kind of where we stand. I've got three kind of options that I see that could work potentially. One would be if you guys would consider just staying on the path that you originally set that has about 8 years of that left. I would consider putting a group together and buying this from the bank. So that completely takes out the issue of the bank. It's not at a point where I would do that as it sits because it was at the bottom and we've got to see where we can get that. So, but I would see about doing that. Option two would be just a sustainable, let's do a 2-year thing and continue, and then let me come back and see and show you guys what that's doing with A&P funding and staying at that same support level that you had, but doing that for 2. And then in speaking with the bank, this year, if there's not a significant like uptick and a support, they will do something else with it. So that means probably just selling it to someone or scrapping it or something. I would hate to see that happen, but the support really makes a difference. Right now, as we're growing, the A&P funding gets the park to breaking even, as in barely breaking even. So there's a lot of growth opportunity for it. We know what we're doing and how to do it, but it is taking some time to get the community to come back to that. So there's one. I have a couple things that I wanted to just mention because the Friday night lights that we did, I mentioned that in the meeting last year, and y'all were going, that's a great idea. Didn't ask for any funding, we did that, but I do want to bring out how we could work together. A couple things, you mentioned the 5K. I would love to tie that in with some of these things, whether it's the 4th of July, 5K, Juneteenth, the Memorial Day, some of those things that we could tie in with the community. And here's some options for some signature events that, depending on what Texarkana's goal is and how we could help facilitate that, really it's something we could do together as a group, not specifically that it's just a water park event, but since we have parking lots, restrooms, we've got all the area around there, and all the hotels are around there, how can we utilize all that together to make something good happen? I don't know if you've had a drone show in Texarkana, Arkansas before, but they are very cool, they're significant. We have those a lot with our Texas Travel Alliance things. They're very expensive, but if it's something that you guys would want to look at doing, that would be a great place to have that. We could also have events in the parking lot, and I think it'd be very fun to do something with the hotels around there and take up that whole street for a big event, whether it's wrapped around a Memorial Day or a certain holiday or things like that. Weekend at Benny's is an event that we kind of came up with. Benny the Beaver is the mascot for Big Dam Water Park, and we could work with the hotels to have a 2-day event where we get a couple of concerts on a Friday or a Saturday and having some different things around with hotels and the restaurants in the area. Juneteenth, having a DJ or entertainment, family activities, and then marketing and things that would support that. 4th of July celebration, the same thing, having live performances, concerts, things like that at the park. And again, we have different totals for each one of those, and they're each if it's something that sounds good that we could work together, we could market that very well to get folks coming to Texarkana and to the water park to do that. Movie nights, I know we do some downtown, which is amazing, and then we could also, from a summer, we could do some movies dive-in movies at the water park, so we could continue to let people know from a community standpoint, there's things happening downtown that's very important, and then also at the water park side of town as well. And then closing out the summer with a Labor Day weekend special event with concerts and stuff as well. Showing kind of where our people are coming from. If we did these events and we had this type of attendance at those different events, we're having about 35% of the people coming from Texarkana, Texas, 25 coming from Arkansas. That gives us about 40% of people coming from outside of our area and spending money inside Texarkana. So.
Good deal. John, let me ask you, I know we did a lot of renovations out there because, the bringing up the park. Did you get a lot of positive feedback on the presentation? Because, the sanitation and all that, what have you?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we went out there, we originally found out that there were some pools that actually weren't even being filtered, and we refinished all the slides, we finished all the filters. And yeah, the response from the guests, we've got videos of people that are telling us, how much better it looks, and the response is good. Yeah.
Good deal, good. Does anyone else have any questions?
You go back to that previous slide.
You bet. This one?
So your total attendance, if I'm reading this, that's over your season.
No, sir. That's for these events. And that's just estimated. If we had a concert and a drone show, we may have about 2,000 people come. And that is, that's how many people we think would be in the park at that day. If we want to do that as an event, and we used all that property around there, it could grow, but that is just for those events. That's just to kind of give you, if we promoted and we spent, $15,000 for this event, you think it would bring this many people into town, but that's just for those events.
Okay.
Gotcha,
How about your proposal that you were offering, those three proposals?
Yes, sir.
Back up to that?
Yes, sir.
So the bank owns the water park, you're managing the water park?
Yes.
Okay.
Your option one was to just continue as it is?
So you have, you originally did a deal with the previous owner, there was not you, the council, it's a 20-year agreement, you're about 12 years into that.
Right.
My proposal would be that if you continue what you did, what you had, because it can stop because that original owner didn't fulfill.
That's option one.
Yes, sir. If you
Option
continue that,
two.
I would look at buying it.
Option two is,
It's a 2-year renewal of what you currently are doing.
and option three.
is a 1-year, and it really leaves the bank at a spot to where future planning for that just makes it more difficult for them. They're not in the business of owning a water park, they don't want a water park. And so it either needs to come up and be significantly different so I can sell it for them, but it'll take some time to do it because it came from almost nothing.
Option three is, the city would bail out after 1 year.
Yes, sir. You have the option of doing that, or I come back and we see that it's going well, and I would present again and ask for your opinion.
So, how many people visited the water park this year?
60,000.
60,000.
Yes, sir.
What's your average ticket price?
24.
$24. So, to cover $250,000, what would you have to increase your price of your ticket?
Well, that'd be about
24,000 divided into,
in the 60,000, but then you get into the dynamics of what does that do to the people here? Did they say, well, that park is not worth that, and we have less people because we charge more? Or we could potentially charge less and have more people because they can afford to come more, but then do we spend money in-house? And so, out of the revenue portion of it, 25%-ish is in-park spending. And so, are they coming at a ticket price and then spending more on food and drinks and things like that? Right now, this water park is a third of what most of the others are because they're not spending in-house, which is a problem for the operator as well. And so, where we may have a $10 per cap at a camping park, which is very similar from a household income number, we may have a $4 per cap, which is completely different in Texarkana. And so, again, there's a lot of little levers that you have to adjust, and not just go, oh, let's just charge $2 more. At 60,000, you'd be changing it $4.
Is this an action item?
No, I got a question for you, Mr. Blevins. For future funding consideration, will we have this PowerPoint on file, so we'll be able to, to look at this, once we leave here? Because I know we're going to have another meeting in April or what have you.
So that's why we're here now, is because the current funding ends in December. So,
How many parks do you, or does P23 manage or own right now?
I own 5, we manage 12.
So out of those 17 parks, Texarkana,
Total, sorry, 5 plus the others, is total we manage 12.
total 12.
Yes, sir.
And one of those is the one in Texarkana.
Yes, sir.
Of the other balance, the 11, how much do each of those municipalities contribute to those 11 parks annually?
Yeah, great question. They all vary, and they all vary based on what was originally set up. So, some injected $2 or $3 million in the beginning for us to build it. Some injected property and for utilities. So every deal is a little bit different. Some deals, the city owns it completely, and they pay us to operate it, which would be a great option here as well. If the city wanted to own it, there's some savings there to where your insurance is cheaper and some of the other things that would happen, and you just get a good operator to operate it. But every deal is a little bit different.
Are there other facilities that are set up this way where it's 250,000 plus or minus annually coming from the city for 10-plus years?
Some are much larger, yes.
So,
The other thing, because I'm very sorry, go ahead.
so you're saying, you're pretty much gonna fold and go if you don't get the $250,000?
I don't know, man. That's totally the bank's call. I'm not going to buy it in the state it is, knowing where it is and where it's come from and where it needs to go, because there's a long road for that. The bank currently foreclosed on a poor operator, and they will not continue operating. So they're putting money into it every year, and they're like, hey, we'd rather cut our losses and go if that's the case. So,
Who is the bank, or the
First
bank?
National Bank of Hugh Springs.
Do we decide,
Now,
what do
Timmy?
we decide not to continue, what do we decide?
I think he wants us to vote today whether or not to extend it for
To my,
8-2 or none.
A2 or at least one, it would be the hope.
all right, Tyler, just to make sure that we're clear, that the contract that we signed with you a year ago is ends this month,
It was January to December, yes, sir.
January to December.
Tim, how many tickets you sold?
We had about 58,000 visitors this year. It's a combination of season pass holders, guests, and so each one of those changes as well as far as does are the visitors coming 4 times a time on season pass? And so if they buy a $60 season pass, do they come 4 times? What is that average? And so again, it goes back to where they spend money when they're in the park, how much they're spending. So
So-
about 60,000.
So if you were to increase the ticket cost by $4 and give that to the city, to repay the city the $250,000, would that bankrupt you?
It won't make the difference. I mean, you're very open to whatever you want to do.
So if the city were to advance you $250,000 with a repayment at the end of the year of $250,000, would that be,
No, sir.
so
Yeah.
that wouldn't work for you?
No, sir.
Okay.
I do have a question, according to, our budget or what have you, and from where we was already at, and to make this decision now, is there something that we could wait another 30 or 60 days instead of making this on-the-spot decision right today? Because
The
to give
ball's
us time
completely in
to.
your court.
Right.
I mean, I'm here to just give you the information.
Okay.
It's-
You want to just put it to a vote?
The next regular A&P meeting is next month
Okay.
in January. So I'm not sure how much time you have for a decision, but the next regular meeting is next month in January.
But according to the monies,
I
to
got
make
another
sure,
question. Explain to me why it's such a big deal not to increase the ticket price $4 and repay the city the $250.
So out of the,
That would be an easy fix if you're in such a dire need.
yeah, hey, I'm not in a dire need for anything. I'm just telling you where we are. And so the ticket price and the number of people that come in off of a ticket versus off a season pass. If we sold, okay, but if we sold 10,000 season passes and they come 4 times a piece, there's 40,000 people. So now there's 20,000 people coming in on a ticket. How many of those are under 2?
But how come you know those to be the numbers?
Because I know when we operate parks, the average of a season pass use is either 3.5 at some cities, up to 5 to 6 at some cities. This one, I'm going to use the average of 4. If we had 60,000 people come and we sold 9,250 season passes times 4 visits per season pass, we're close to 40,000 people off of the season pass sales, which leaves 20,000 people, give or take, that are buying tickets. So out of those tickets, how many of those are Toddler Tuesday, which are $7? How many of those are a Friday Night Live special ticket, which is $12 to $15? And how many are general admission, full price at the gate, $24? I'd have to look at all that, but changing it $4 doesn't make the number.
Right, change it to $2 and do some of these special events that have up with the $250 that the city were to match.
All right, where I'm going with this is that, before we make a economic decision here on either one of these choices, we really need to know about, is that something we can do right now when it comes to the money, the budgets or what have you. So that's why I was asking if we could,
You bet.
You know,
I mean,
take
again,
it.
the ball's in your court. You could totally,
I guess I would say, I haven't looked at the A&P budget, but I
Right.
want to say that we ended about 300,000 in fund balance after everything for 2026. And
That's what I recall as well. There was roughly 10% that you were holding back, moving forward. After that, which would be about 150,000, and then there was another 150,000 in addition to that.
Yes. So,
I think we should hold a vote. It's just going to push it off. I don't know if is our minds going to change? Is there something else we need to look at? I just hate to keep him waiting on it. I also feel that we cut off all funding for all of our other people who depend on that money, so I don't know how fair this all seems. I know the city got cut off from a lot of our parks because we didn't fund anything this year, so.
Now, have we decided that we are moving forward with the bond issue? Is that-
That's tonight.
on the
That's
agenda.
on the agenda. I'm just talking about the salary, the things that we do. This is in addition. This is not the swing or the new one. This is, every year we give the parks and recreations 250,000, depending on the.
Plus or minus.
More than that.
Plus or minus a little
yeah.
bit, and we gave them nothing this year. So I hate to choose something over our city. That's kind of the way I see it, but I understand where you're coming from. Sure. So I'm not going to change on my thoughts of it.
Motion out there.
like I say, it's, you have option 1, 2, or 3. And if those are the options we have to take into consideration. And you all.
You can take into consideration
Yeah,
whatever
that
you
was his
Right.
proposal,
Right.
this gentleman's.
And so, and what now, as of right now, we have about 350 that's in our fund balance right now,
300.
right? Roughly,
roughly 300.
roughly 300.
Yes, sir.
And also, I believe in the bylaws that were voted on the last meeting, I believe you do have to keep $150,000 in the fund balance.
Okay. So if we made a motion or what have you, we could possibly split it up so that we don't go against our own physical policy. We would have to work it out so we don't go against our own physical policy.
So what are we looking at? We got,
Your policy is leaving virtually 150,000 in fund balance. We would need to check numbers to be 100% sure on the exact numbers,
Right.
but you roughly have another 150,000 after that. So if, let's take for instance, you wanted to go ahead and move forward with 250,000, you'd be going against your minimum fund balance policy.
so really, we only have 150,000 to do anything with, right?
If we go
And-
forward with the bond.
Yes.
Yes.
So
We
aren't we,
haven't decided that yet.
don't we need to discuss the bond issue deal and get that out of the way before we?
Y'all
do
don't
anything?
have to decide on
But I mean,
anything
the
tonight.
logic would tell us that we need to, I would think.
That-
I mean,
yeah,
that's,
whatever
I mean, that's
y'all-
gonna dictate whether we do anything else. If we don't go with a bond, then we got some monies to do with.
Next
if-
year, yeah, next year. This year, we closed all that off, and we sent letters in saying we weren't going to give out any funding. we already voted on that, so he's just wanting us to make an exception, and I understand. I just don't know how fair that is to the other people who we're not making an exception for.
And I'll
Right.
I'll just comment to that, which is great. I guess the thing would be, and as Tyler and I had some conversation, I don't want to speak for Tyler at all, but there are agreements that you can have with a business that is not just the general funding
Oh, I
deal.
understand, I
So,
understand.
again, so it maybe alleviates the fact that you're just not just doing something you said you wouldn't do. It's an agreement that we have from a funding standpoint. We do a lot of promotion to bring that into the city and bring folks into the city, which is a little bit different than others. But again, it's just giving you guys what I would like and what I think would be good for this park. But it's, of course, your call.
All right, so we've heard all the different concerns. We know that in our fund balance, we put in our physical policy that we want to keep at least 150 in there. And understanding this is all optional tonight, and it's be up to the council if you all want to go ahead and make the vote tonight or just table it and say, okay, well, we'll look back at the finances and make sure we have what we have, and then bring them back to the table next month. So
So let's be clear. How much money do we have as of today, Tyler?
that's what they're wanting to check and make sure that,
Go get the budget book.
oh, okay.
Budget book,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
So just split it up.
Okay, all right, got you. Sorry, I was just trying to clear up
Yep.
some
How much can we
procedural stuff.
appropriate tonight?
Say that one more time.
Pardon me? How much can we appropriate tonight? What do we have on?
If you,
Tonight.
if you stick with your 150,000 minimum in fund balance as per your policy, you've got about 150,000 left. I can go pull that budget really fast. Okay. Jeanette's grabbing the budget book to see exactly what that is. It's roughly 150,000. That's going from our memory, but we're both remembering the same thing. I'm quite confident that's really close. But Jeanette can tell us very shortly exactly.
It's net based on the bond issue?
Yeah, that's based on the budget that y'all approved at y'all's last meeting. And yes, the bond issue is included in that budget.
If we vote no on the bond, then that money won't be there. See what I'm saying?
Just clarify.
Yeah. There's money there. It
Just to be clear, on the original agreement, it was nullified when they went into bankruptcy. Okay.
So in the 2026 budget, the fund balance, it does end, and that's with the bond at 331,000.
So if you keep 150 there, you've got
About 180.
181.
All right, well, with that being said, like I said, we have the option to go ahead and vote that tonight, and that way we won't be violating our own policy if we vote to decide to go ahead and initiate, 150, and at a later date, with some type of agreement to do the remaining.
So is this a
So-
motion? What's
Is that
the
a
motion on the
motion?
floor, or?
If there's going to be a motion, we can say 1 year, one option, two option, or third option. Is there a motion on the floor? At what option that you all want to present? I think maybe we can take it just one step at a time, like option 2.
Option 2 would violate our
Yeah,
But,
Agreement.
but with the understanding, we're only doing 150 tonight. Just because it says 250, we're just not doing 250 tonight.
You can't go below your 150 fund balance.
Right,
Until you
right,
get it.
right. Yeah.
I make a motion that we make no subsidy.
you make a
What?
motion for what?
No subsidy?
Is that something we second? Is that something we vote on?
Yep. Yeah, yes, it's been motion, well,
We have to vote on that.
That's my motion.
right.
So,
I asked for a second.
We can't fund money on a second. It has to be a vote.
Yeah, but
Well, if it's not second, it dies on the floor.
Oh,
if it dies for a
Yeah.
second, that's for a second.
Yeah, if it don't get a second, it dies on the floor.
I got you.
so he made a motion for no funding, correct? Correct?
Right.
That's correct.
So do we put it to a vote?
No, I get it second.
Someone has to
I
agree
guess
with him
nobody-
and say it.
I guess nobody second my motion.
He made a motion, it didn't get a second, so it died on the floor. Yeah. And so his motion is dead. So,
Well, we were trying to understand what, I mean,
but what I was doing, I was asking for a motion to accept one of the agreements.
Well, you can't accept any of those, because those don't really fit into parameters. That was those were his.
We would have to make the numbers work for us according to what we have on our budget.
And if you want to make a motion based on the 150 that you can, that's a potential motion. I understand what you're saying is you make a motion of number 2, but not violate your 150
Right.
fund balance.
Yeah.
That's a potential motion.
Yeah.
But if it's cleaner to have a 150 motion, that's an option. A no funding is an option also.
So that's very clear. So is there a motion on the floor?
You have a
Again.
motion.
Okay. He's already made the motion, no funding.
I second that motion.
Okay. And now do we vote?
Now vote.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Roll call, please.
Mills,
Yay?
Jewel,
Yes?
Holmes,
No,
Dotson,
Yes.
Brewer,
I'm marking my things right. Yes, no. Just to make sure I'm clear. We voted yes to kill the motion, and we voted no.
We voted yes or no funding,
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
That
no
is
funding.
correct.
Yes, no
Three
funding.
yeses for no funding.
Correct. So
Oh,
yes means the funding
Stop.
is no funding for 2026.
That's correct.
So we already have 3 yeses for no funding.
Yes.
Correct.
Well, motion carries then.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Whoa. Okay. Next up, we have A&P funding discussions.
I believe there were multiple things that y'all wanted to talk about. I know you had some funding, or I believe anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak for you. I know y'all want to talk about the bond project. We can handle this however you'd like. If there's other funding options y'all want to talk about, or
I think we
I
just
can
need to
give you a brief of the bond project and go from there, however y'all would like to do it.
And this is what we're talking about.
Not that specifically. So, but I will talk about that, just to explain what's there, if you'd like. Y'all want me to give you a quick brief of the bond project, or?
And the bond project is, how does that affect us?
Because we have to vote yes to give the money or not. It's that said, we weren't at that meeting when they discussed that, but they preliminary, I'm not sure, passed.
So
that we
we-
would talk about the bond at some point. I wasn't,
So we had I gave a presentation to A&P, I believe it was in April.
Yes, I remember.
And I went back and I rewatched that meeting, just to make sure I was remembering correctly. But in that presentation, I gave a number of different options for funding. We talked about the bond project. It was unanimous among the commission that was there that said, yes, we want to explore this. What do we need to do? I said, well, let's set up a workshop. I can explain, I can go into more detail on the bond project. We did that workshop. I was hoping I could go back and watch that one, but that one wasn't recorded. But I gave y'all some more details on there. And in the previous meeting, in the actual A&P Commission meeting, Director Hollybush asked if we needed to have a vote to move forward with the bond. And it's not necessary right now, a vote, which the commission can absolutely take a vote to proceed, and I would advise that at this point. But I was advised to move forward, looking into this, exploring it, and that's exactly what I've done. I've talked to bond counsel, I've talked to public finance. Now, nothing has been done no money has been spent, nothing has been done more than conversations and cost estimates and that sort of thing. So plug can be pulled on that at any point. I would advise the commission to go ahead and vote on whether to continue or not, because I am at a point to where really wouldn't want to go any further with this without the A&P Commission voting to proceed.
And if we vote yes, it is how much or how long annually?
It is about $700,000 for 15 years. And that is for a $7 million project.
All right,
And so just to give a brief description of the project again for anyone who may not remember, this would be taking Ed Worrell Park, upgrading all of those ball fields to turf. It's all natural currently. It's virtually doing the exact same thing that Texas side did at Swanger, the Spring Lake Park ball fields. The idea behind that is the sports tourism industry is booming. It's a $70 billion a year industry. And I sent y'all to hope everyone was able to look at it, and I apologize, I just sent it to y'all this morning, but you've got the economic impact study for Swanger Sports Complex that the Texas side did. It'd be similar, but there's a bunch of numbers in there for what it does for the city, the impact on it. There's also another report in that from the World Series that we hosted just this summer, July 17th, somewhere around there. And there's a lot of data in there for how many visitors we had. Now, that's not something that's going to happen every weekend at this facility. That is a World Series, whereas now we get one of those every 5 years. It's on a rotation in Arkansas between 5 different cities. It may not even be every 5 years. Well, at the most, we'd get that once every 5 years. These tournaments, you may host 25, 30 of them a year. And they're not all going to be as big as that World Series. I put that in there just to show you potential, you know. If you do this project, then yeah, you're talking about one or two similar tournaments to the World Series. Hosted this year. Now, the third report I put in there was from the Tracy Lawrence concert. There's lots of metrics in that report. Shows you visits, how many of these people came in from out of town. And I've got all my notes on all those reports downstairs. I'm sorry. Of course, I left them down there. But, so for Tracy Lawrence concert, I believe there were 5,300 visits down here. There was, well, I can pull it up on my email. One
And
second.
Tyler, you said this would be for 15 years?
Yes.
That it is a 15-year bond. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right, council, as you all see, or Tyler's looking for something, as you all see through the complex study here, there's a lot of numbers of indirect benefit, direct benefits.
Do y'all want me to run through some of those numbers?
I've already looked through them. Some of those,
I think they
on
were
the average of 16
16
million
I'm
here,
not
17
going to
million
mess with
there.
throwing a bunch of numbers in.
Yes, it's just, at this point, we have to decide if we want to continue with the bond issue. We gave Tyler marching orders to go out and get the intel, get the intelligence and find out, all the information he could. He's gotten that information. And now we have the numbers here that's, looking at 15 years for 700,000. And of course, when you look through here and you take in consideration of some of the return on investment, as far as hotels and restaurants. Of course, we don't have many hotels over here, many restaurants, but that's something we still have to take into accountability. And so moving forward, we have to just go ahead and make a decision if we want to continue this bond or not. So,
Or, I'm new at this, and I sense amongst some members here that there's a little uneasiness as to whether,
well, let's just go
Right.
ahead and make a vote. Is there a motion on the floor?
well, let's discuss it, I think. I
Well,
mean,
there's a discussion after the motion.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you discuss it before.
Yeah, you
Make a
can,
motion.
but
I'd like to get the people's feelings, the commissioners' feelings.
I've personally been all over the place on this. I've been for it, I've been against it, I've been for it, I've been against it. And it's a long time. We are obligating a lot of money for a long time. And when I talk to people about it, and I do, that's what I hear. It's a lot of money for a long time. And if we decided not to do it, just say we decided to table it for 24 months, 2 years. We could take that money and say, what kind of impact can we make with that money if we don't put this over here? What
I
kind of
agree.
impact could we
Yeah.
make?
I agree. Look what we did with the money that was given for the Tracy Lawrence concert, 40 grand or however much it was. It made a huge impact on tourism in downtown. I'm a little nervous, honestly, too, Tyler, about earmarking so much money. We're cutting off our community from having just a little tiny pot to get money for tourism, for events.
Yeah.
And as
Okay.
the owner
I mean-
who contributes to that fund, I really like the way it has been. I'm not saying that there can't be bigger projects in the future. That's just a long time. How old will I be? I'll be 70 years old.
You can spend
Mills, do we have a
$50,000 a
point?
quarter, $200,000.
Yeah.
And you could bring in,
Yeah.
you could bring in a revival. You could bring in any type of function. It could be a concert, it could be a revival. I mean, it could be a barbecue cook-off where some $25,000 of those dollars goes to you put $25,000, you're gonna have some folks showing up to cook some barbecue. But I mean, you could bring in somebody who has a huge following, a preacher, or, yeah, I mean, there's all types of ways to spend that money and see what works. I mean, right now, it's just, everybody that I speak to, and I talk to a lot of people about it, they're like, that's just a lot of money, all your eggs in one basket. And it's gonna be 70% of our eggs in one basket for 15 years.
I couldn't agree more. It's a lot for a long time. And just by the way, whatever y'all decide, I don't care. That's y'all's decision. It doesn't bother me not one bit. I don't want y'all to think that I'm trying to push this or anything, because when I originally gave that first presentation, I was taken back at how much support there was on the commission for that project. Never once did I think I was walking out of that meeting to go explore this project. Not one single time. The reason that was proposed to begin with was, well, for one, that's what many, many cities are doing exactly with this money that they're getting. They're putting it into parks, they're doing large bond projects, they're doing large projects to make a large lasting impact. You don't see many A&P commissions or cities in Texas with their hotel occupancy taxes divvying out smaller amounts of money like we do. I'll be completely honest with you, I haven't felt like that, the way that A&P Commission has split up that money in the past has created a large impact. This project was just one idea for A&P to create a large impact. That was it. If y'all prefer to put that money elsewhere, I understand. That's a lot of money for a long time. Completely understand that. If that's what the A&P Commission would rather do, by all means, this is y'all's decision. And I don't want for a second for anyone to think that I'm pushing this project or anything. It's perfectly fine. I'm fine one way or another. It doesn't matter.
We could rewrite the way we give out the money, where, I mean, if you're not gonna make an X impact on the community, whatever that number is, don't even ask. I mean, and those projects are gonna be large dollar projects, whatever they are. I.e. Tracy Lawrence. Who would have
Yes.
thought that was gonna happen? I
knew
didn't.
it. I knew
Yeah.
it, 'cause I knew who was doing
Yes.
it.
In fact, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but an average person
looking
could
in
drive
from
a
the
stupid
outside, Pickle Fest.
yeah.
She didn't get a dime.
And
And I mean, my goodness.
I think we ought to share in some of the revenue somehow, like repayment or so, sharing some of the ticket prices.
But we don't have to give the money away every year. I mean, we're not obligated. I mean, if we don't see a project worthy that, as a unanimous vote, we don't think it's gonna work, we don't have to give it to them. And I agree with Tyler that giving somebody $18,000, it isn't gonna move the
Right.
city needle. It's gonna move that small sliver of the city, but the majority of people aren't gonna feel it.
And Mr. Dawson, before you came on the board, that sentiment did come up on our return on investment. And that's why we constantly communicated about, funding heavy hitters like Juneteenth, 3,500 people come in, the fairgrounds, the large numbers coming in or what have you, and then finding a way to track those, what have you. But just kind of going back to the park, and, this is my stance, I'm still with it, to the point that I love the concept, but if the concept was a total site, a total complex, like, for example, you have the ballparks, and we had our own hotels surrounding those ballparks, and our own restaurants surrounding those ballparks, we could really, take in all the revenue. But for right now, that's a cost that's later on down the road that we would have to get multiple millions just to even try to get the land to facilitate something like this to recoup all the potential revenue.
And I mean, there's nothing saying that if we said no for now, we can
Right.
see how Texas does for 2 or 3 years. It's gonna be painfully evident. I mean, we'll know in 2 or 3 years how they feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
How they feel about those dollars spent.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being on their coattails, may not be a bad idea to sit in the bleachers for a little while.
Well, with that being said,
I am
If
not
we-
against the project, but at this time, it's too long for this amount of money.
Right.
I'm not willing to invest this amount of money into this one project.
I completely understand.
all right, with that being said,
I'll be
is that,
75 when it's paid off.
I'll tell you this, it will never be any cheaper. So it's
True.
If you ever want to do a project such as this, you
It's always gonna
will,
be cheaper now than it is next year.
you will be paying for it for 10, 15 years.
And we understand that, but at this time, 15 years, no, for me.
I'm almost with her. It's a long time. I think we ought to sit here and let's just see what Texas does and let's see if we can make an impact that would be more targeted towards the Arkansas side, as hard as that is, because I mean, you can't tell someone where they have to stay.
Right.
You can't tell someone they have to spend their money to eat dinner. And to what he
Especially
was
if-
saying, I mean, we're spending this money and we're getting 40% of the benefit of it.
right. If it was a total complex, we could really,
Oh, that would be ideal.
All
Yeah, you're talking about 4 times the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
you're talking about 25 million.
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah, that's what I would like to reach for at someday, some point.
But in looking at this,
But not
since
right
we had this project, we were not able to give funding to the water park, okay? And not giving funding to the water park, how parents with children,
Yeah,
Well, if we, if we
Nick,
vote,
go ahead.
if we vote to not fund the baseball park, we
we could still,
we could still vote again amongst ourselves, couldn't we, to extend the water park for a year?
well, let's ask council on
I
that.
usually get one thing out of the way and then go to that next one. I think,
Yeah.
I think voting on that water park
I
before
think-
we decided on if we had money was,
Yeah, it should have been down as.
Should have been the opposite
other
way.
bit-
That's what I
the
was trying to
agenda.
get to earlier, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying.
yeah.
Procedurally, you can, yes, you can retract that funding vote. The short answer is yes, you can revisit that.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's take care of the business that's on the floor right now for the bond discussion.
I don't need a vote.
Oh,
If y'all aren't moving, I think the consensus there is y'all aren't moving forward with that project.
okay, all right. All right, with that being said, okay, with the funding discussion,
I make a motion that we do not fund the bonding project at this time.
We were just gonna let it.
Oh,
keep-
Yeah, we don't.
yeah, we don't have that
No formal
vote.
vote needed.
Yeah, we won't vote on it,
that,
yeah.
right.
So for the A&P funding discussion, kind of want to go back to that just for a second.
So, do we
With
want to
the-
back up to the big dam thing?
On that council right there, as far as the Big Down Water Park, how do we address him to let him know that
I can give them a call.
you can give him a call on that?
If-
All right.
If the board wants to vote to reconsider that,
Yes,
move
Okay.
it just like, you know, I move
Okay,
to
gotcha.
reconsider the vote on funding the Big Dam Water Park. Second.
Gotcha.
Call for roll call.
All right.
What would our budget be, since we didn't fund this project, what would our budget be?
Would be
There's
good. Would be good. Would be good.
$750,000 for you.
Okay, so
So is there
that
also-
means that we could take option 2,
Well, we could take option 3 also.
we could take option 3. Option 3,
So
since we
according to
didn't
what
fund,
he said, if they don't get the funding, he feels like the bank is going to
Well, that's
take
what they
over?
say, that's what he
Yeah,
says. I
right.
can't imagine them closing it down, and they're not gonna have any type of fun, I mean,
Yes.
they're not gonna close it down.
No.
I mean, they're
They're
getting
gonna find
revenue.
someone else to manage it,
Right.
someone else to put the money into it.
Just like they brought him in to manage. They
It's-
would-
Yes,
it's
we're
too-
not gonna
too
just
good, I
disband
think.
it.
but since we
They're getting
didn't,
something now versus nothing.
since
You
we
start
didn't
averaging
give-
in zeros into any budget, things go south quick.
Since we didn't give any funding to our locals, what about option 3?
That's what we've already voted on, and I mean, unless someone wants to redo that, we voted on option 3.
We did vote on option.
Yeah, we decided,
No,
Y'all
we
voted on
didn't.
no fund.
No, we voted a
Option-
no.
Option.
Oh, I thought option-
three
No,
there
we voted,
No.
you all voted a no vote.
Right.
is 250
no
for
additional
1 year.
support is what I thought I voted for.
Y'all
Oh, I didn't
voted,
see that, I can't.
yeah, option 3 is a one-time, 1 year,
Right.
Oh,
$250,000.
okay, okay,
Right.
okay.
That's why we're asking for consideration.
Okay,
And that's
my
why I
bad.
was kind of stumped when I was like,
So option 3 is a 1-year deal. So we give them
Thank you.
$250,000. And in 1 year, we're gonna be right here where we are right now.
right.
Yes.
Yes,
So, seems like it's costing us $250,000 to be sitting in the same chair
Yeah.
in 1
Yes.
year.
and we still have an 8-year, are we still under that 8-year?
No, we're not.
We're under no
No agreement?
obligation
Okay.
to fund.
We'll get some kind of commitment or something from the bank to give us some idea what they're gonna do.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd like to know because we could give them 250 and the bank could come in and foreclose in 30 days and now we're out 250 and we don't have a water park. If he feels like they're gonna do it.
I don't think the bank will do that. I don't like being pressured that way. Well, if you don't support us, then.
Well, that's kind of what I
Well,
feel
yeah,
like he was
it's our
telling
people.
us.
Our other people, we always ask them, what would you do without our support?
But I don't think we had a
Well,
contingency.
Open back up.
Well,
We don't have to give them that 250.
Right, so the Bank of Hugh Springs, I mean, the way I read it is, they want that 8-year agreement so they can, do things that create long-term operational
We're
stability.
not doing that.
I mean,
Right.
the 2-year agreement is kind of they want option 1. Bank of Hugh Springs wants option 1, for sure.
Yes.
Right.
And so they can, get it going, and I'm sure the Bank of Hugh Springs is gonna one day get it to a position so they can sell it. But they want that agreement, so, 250 times 8 is whatever, how much, and so they can reinvest in it and present it to buyers and present it to their board, so they can, maybe continue to reinvest money into it. So, the question was, what were you saying?
About the
We can
contingency,
have,
about possible contingency.
What if we
Yeah.
give this 250,000 and
Yeah.
they shut it down in a month or 2 months or 6 months, whatever, or the year? Obviously, we're not under any sort of obligation if they shut it down, pay them $250,000 a year, and we pay it monthly, correct?
we do.
Okay.
So, I think they want to go, they want to go forward and operating and managing it. It sounds like it's, I understand they don't want to own it. They don't want to own a water park, but it sounds like they're making money. I don't know if it's a profit or not, but, it sounds like they want option 1 to get it back into a place where they can sell it and make money on it.
I don't think that would happen in option 1. He said it would take several years for it to get where it needs to be.
Well, option 1 is
Option
like
one
8
is-
years.
One time, option 1, gosh,
Yeah.
I can't see.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
8
we're
years.
definitely not
The
doing
bank
that.
could sell it today. They're not gonna get what they want for it.
Sure, but I think that manager's saying, you're not gonna be able to sell it today. I mean,
You could, you,
Probably be the first one in line to buy it if it were, and he ain't buying it.
Right.
but I mean, if they sold it for $1, there'd be a lot of people lined up.
If I
I
had
mean,
to
it's
go
all
with
about the money.
option, I
Don't
would
think
do
it's
three.
not. If it was $1, people would
Why
say,
here?
there's a water park for sale for $1.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Meredith. I don't think giving anybody any money when we told everybody we weren't going to give them any.
I know.
That does set a
That's fine
precedence.
with me that we made that decision, so, we want to live with that.
I'm okay with it. I mean, that's where we are, unless
The
we
water
change
park, it
things.
won't shut, trust me, they're not gonna shut it down this summer. They're not. They'll find someone to pick it up or something. In my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think they'll have it. But it's in good shape. The water park itself is in perfectly good shape.
Yeah, there's still some things that
Need to be
need to
done.
be done, like he said, but compared to what it was, yeah.
Hey, Todd,
But if it sits,
it can't afford
management
it.
company just lets it sit. and-
Right.
And, it sits over the summer.
Yeah. That's where I was going, that if it go backwards, the maintenance could reverse itself all over again. Now that we're not doing the bond discussion and moving forward to doing the A&P funding for the fall, I was just still, just for the investment in the community, he could still, apply, for the fall. I know the contract is up, but of course, that'll be up to the board or what have you, now that we have that flexibility that the bond discussion is off the table. But with all the maintenance, I don't know if you all remember when they came in here and gave those presentations, all the algae and all the outdated piping, the rusting and all that stuff, and they've done a good job to get it up to, up to code. And I would just hate to see it go backwards. But that's something we just really have to take into consideration. So,
It almost seems like a Texarkana USA water park and not a Texarkana Arkansas water park. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, everybody benefits from it in the whole city. But we seem to be the ones,
As does everything we do.
yeah. Yeah, but it's hard. We didn't
I
find
mean,
anybody else.
You look at the World Series numbers, and some of the top hotels on that list were Texas. I mean, the same for the restaurants.
it's just a weird
I
spot
think we'll just bring him back in the fall.
So I think
that we
should
find
push
that
Bring him back in the fall.
decision and-
geographic.
Stay with that decision and move on. Let's go
Maybe to
home.
And we just maybe, you still have the option to, well, as you all know, during the summer, with the heat and humidity, yeah, because maintenance is crucial when you talk about that equipment like that. I know we don't want to set a precedence, but I know we've already voted not to fund it. But
So where do we stand on this?
Unless there's a motion to reconsider that vote to fund it, it's not funded.
Okay. So if we don't do that, are we adjourned?
No, somebody has to move to adjourn. If there's no more discussion or no more.
I move for adjournment.
Second.
Second.
it's been, it's
This
been,
song beats you to it.
it's been motion and second. Roll call, please.
Mills,
Here?
Yes.
Yes.
Jewel?
Vote on anything.
Jewel,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Dodson,
Yes.
Brewer.
No. Yes. No, I don't know.